What is going on, everyone? Badger here to like and sub, and let's get into this. I remember many moons ago, when we heard about the War for the Rohirrim, it was like, oh, good, good. We know they're going to start. Warner Brothers are going to start making Lord of the Rings content because this is delusional, of course, now in hindsight, but like they know Rings of Power has ruined the taste, and so they're going to start releasing super accurate, awesome stuff to balance whatever the hell Amazon has done. And then we got the War for the Rohirrim movie. Not a series, a movie that every time we talked about it, we had to be reminded was a movie. And it turns out we weren't the only ones forgetting about it because it has only hit $4.6 million domestic opening, which I guess for animation is good, but when you keep in mind that this is a Lord of the Rings property, it should be a lot higher than this. And so according to the numbers, films noted is only having grossed 4.6 million in its opening domestic weekend, brought in another 5.6 or 5.7 rather million internationally. So globally, we've only hit 10.3 million. That was far under the first reported of 15 million. And God knows how much these movies cost. I've heard anywhere from 15 to 20, and some people are saying 30 and 40. So I don't know what the fuck is going on. Of note, 2 million of that international box office from the weekend prior. So it only did 3.7 million this past weekend. A girl boss aplenty. This movie broke Nerd Wars, absolutely broke him. For multiple different reasons, and apparently she's not even the worst part about the movie. A lot of people do the girl bossing for her. So before the theater even got this film, Sean Robbins at Box Office Theory was predicting that the film would gross between 15 million and 24 million. We're now substantially under that. He then specifically predicted it would only gross 17.5 million. So we've got a way to go. We've got another 7 million plus or so. Total domestic box office haul, Robbins believed it would bring in between 44 million and 84.5, and noted that it would just do 49.5. I don't even think we're going to see that. Yeah, significantly downgrading those predictions by dropping the film's opening week. The 43% drop in his predictions, that would gross between 8 million and 13, and honed in on 10. So in that regard, I guess he is, now that he has so significantly dropped it. In result here, worldwide, it looks like they're going for $26 million. Yeah, at the last minute, he predicted it would only make 5.2 million. So holy hell, it's still under than his even final ones. Recently in the video, he said, also a film I think that will end up losing money. Excuse me, this is Odin. Hail Odin. A film I think will end up losing money is Lord of the Rings: The War for the Rohirrim. 2,600 screens and about $1,700 per screen. Only 4.6 million in domestic opening. Hasn't been really doing much international either. And you would think that's what they'd be bucking for, with people thinking it's an anime adjacent. I still spent 30 million on that. 30 million. So there's the answer. A $30 million budget. And then when you account for marketing, yeah. 30 million, though a smaller budget than most, is still when you have to make quite a bit back to break even. And these are not the kind of numbers that you need to make it in order to hit those marks. No, not at all. And of course, we had Gary from the Erotic who was talking, who did fucking also see the film, and he was able to at least form words. Erwin just ranted and threw his hammer around. Gary says they went with a girl boss, as we all knew. They did manage to do, all they'd managed to do was girl boss better, i.e., she's not as insufferable as we've heard before. War of the Rohirrim is about some unnamed daughter who ends up being the impetus of the story, leading around a bunch of incompetent men who should have listened to her in the first place. What could have been the story centered on Helm Hammerhand and the tragic events that led to the naming of Helm's Deep turned into something else. And he does say that the first 20 minutes started out close enough. The only major differences here is that Helm didn't seem sorry about it at all in the books, but here he does. Rohirrim looks like Rohirrim, and the Dundalines look like the Dunlendine. The costume in Edoras, the Hornburg, and even Rohan looks like they do in Peter Jackson's Lord of the Rings. But that's where the resemblance ends. Said the animation was choppy, and we've seen that from the multiple scenes. Looks either stiff or choppy, and not a lot in between. Not Tolkienian and not very anime. Says it's better than Rings of Power, but that is not saying much. Film's biggest crime is the boring slog. clocks in at over 2 hours, down from 2.5. It was originally supposed to be 90 minutes. Dear God, let us get back to 90-minute movie times. Helm Hammerhand, the central character in this story, is essentially reduced to a guest star, and Helm's big moment where he goes outside the Hornburg and starts slaughtering Wolfsmen by himself is relegated to just a few minutes, and you don't even actually see him doing it. So that, amongst many other things, have led to this film being what I think we're going to classify as a flop, especially with that 30 million budget. That's not even including marketing. Not looking good. And more importantly, further downgrading everyone's collective thoughts of that IP. Obviously not the books and the Peter Jackson stuff, but like in the current zeitgeist, a lot of what happens to Star Wars, even a Skeleton Crew is good. No one's watching it because you reduce the thing. The Indiana Jones and the Great Circle might be a great game, but you ruined everyone's opinion of it with those last couple movies. So unfortunately, this is reaping what you sow. Either way, you let me know what you think. Make sure to like, share, and sub. If you have done that, thank you. If you're going to do that, thank you.
Well, bye.